Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much for sparing your invaluable time for today's evening Bhagavatam session. We'll be covering, I think, from Canto 1, Chapter 18, verses 7 to 12. Yes, I'll just share my screen shortly. Yes, I'll share my screen. Let me know once you're able to see my screen. Is my
Yes,
screen visible?
yes, Prabhuji, we can see your screen. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Okay. The context, just to set the context. So this one talks about Parishit Maharaj's birth, is how his qualities are compared with demigods, with very, very great personalities. And then, as his life progresses, how he gets cursed by a Brahmin boy. So this chapter details out some of the aspects around how that curse happened, what really was going through Parishit Maharaj's mind. And so it sets the stage for that pastime to happen. And it's a kind of a step change in terms of how Bhagavatam starts to flow from then, that point onwards. The real Bhagavatam comes out once Parishit Maharaj basically finds himself guilty of committing that act. And then he gets cursed by a Brahmin boy. We'll see that in a lot of detail. Just to get started. So in this particular, here the aspects of Kali as a Kali uh, Kali Yuga, or how Kali behaves, acts, and its positives and its negatives. Everything gets discussed in these few verses. Because Kali, the reason also is because Kali also has a role to play how Parishit Maharaj acted. Actually, obviously Bhagavatam had to take birth, so all these are pastimes which are enacted by the Lord. But then there is always an external cause also for it. So Kali is one of the external causes, right, which got Parishit Maharaj to act in a particular way, and which we'll know, or which we'll see in the pages of Bhagavatam and the verses that we will cover later. Right. So yes. So here let's read. Nanu dveshati kalim samrat saranga ivasarabhuk kulushalani asu siddhyanti netarani kritani yat. Anybody wants to read?
I'll read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mother.
Pranams.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, text 7. Nanudveshti kalim samrat saranga iva sharabho kushalani ashu siddhyanti netarani kritani yat.
Wonderful.
Read the translation.
Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Translation by Javanita Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maharaja Parikshit was a realist, like the bees who only accept the essence of a flower. He knew perfectly well that in this age of Kali, auspicious things produce good effects immediately, whereas inauspicious acts must be actually performed to render effects. So he was never envious of the personality of Kali. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, let's go ahead and read the purport. Anybody wants to read?
Bhargavi Mataji is raising her hands, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams. Purport by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The age of Kali is called the fallen age. In this fallen age, because the living beings are in an awkward position, the Supreme Lord has given some special facilities to them. So, by the will of the Lord, a living being does not become a victim of a sinful act until the act is actually performed. In other ages, simply by thinking of performing a sinful act, one used to become a victim of the act. On the contrary, a living being in this age is awarded with the results of pious acts simply by thinking of them. Maharaja Parikshit, being the most learned and experienced king by the grace of the Lord, was not unnecessarily envious of the personality of the Kali because he did not intend to give him any chance to perform any sinful act. He protected his subjects from falling prey to the sinful acts of the age of the Kali, and at the same time, he gave full facility to the age of Kali by allotting him some particular places. At the end of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that even though all nefarious activities of the personality of Kali are present, there is a great advantage in the age of Kali. One can attain salvation simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Thus, Maharaja Parikshit made an organized effort to propagate the chanting of the Lord's holy name, and thus he saved the citizens from the clutches of Kali. It is for this advantage only that great sages sometimes wish all good for the age of Kali. In the Vedas also, it is said that by discourse of Lord Krishna's activities, one can get rid of all the disadvantages of the age of Kali. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also said that by the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Supreme Lord becomes at once arrested within one's heart. These are some of the great advantages of the age of Kali, and Maharaja Parikshit took all advantages and did not think of any ill of the age of Kali, true to his Vaishnavite cult. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, so here the pros and cons of Kali are mentioned. So here in this fallen age, so by the will of the Lord, a living being does not become a victim of a sinful act until the act is actually performed. So if somebody is, just joking here, like somebody thinks, okay, I'm going to steal something from him, and he's just thinking he's not doing that, no sins get accumulated because of that. But why is it that though no sinful activity is calculated just based on the thinking, why should one still prohibit himself from thinking that way? Anything anybody remembers? While just to clarify the question, while the yoga is not penalizing someone if he thinks in a particular way, even if he thinks that about a sinful activity, he doesn't get penalized unless he does it, right? But still, one should refrain from doing that, even in this yoga. Why?
Prabhuji, constant thinking lead to like contemplation lead to we have seen one shloka na Prabhuji in Bhagavad Gita. First they will think, then they will try to act, then after acting they will say what is mistake in this, then they will go like that. It will lead to the sinful path, Prabhuji. So I think thinking itself should be stopped. That bijam, kuta, bijam and all that, like that.
Wonderful. Very nice answer, Mataji. Archana Mataji. Very good. Yes. So thinking basically sows the seed for the act to be performed. So once we think, our mind is absorbed that way. And then absolutely right that the thinking thoughts shape our action, right? We often say that. And our actions shape our habits shape our personality, right? So it starts from thought, right? So if we are able to dovetail those thoughts in a positive way, we stay away from all the sins, right? So that way, Kali Yoga, there is some tolerance given, but we should not abuse that tolerance. Yes. In other ages, simply by thinking of performing a sinful act, one used to become a victim of that act. So that is the demerits of earlier yogas. So here, Parshit Maharaj, though he is the most learned and experienced, and by the grace of Lord was not unnecessarily envious of the personality of Kali because he did not intend to give him any chance to perform any sinful act. So he protected his subjects from falling prey to the sinful acts of the age of Kali, and at the same time gave full facility of the age of Kali by allotting him some particular spaces. What were those spaces? Anybody remembers?
Intoxication,
Hmm.
meat eating,
Meat
animal
eating,
slaughterhouses,
gambling.
gold,
Hmm.
And illicit sex. There are four things, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So,
And the fifth one is gold.
yeah. So the first one was basically where gambling will happen. So we have all the facilities today, right? To better it, the facility is now available online at a click of a button. Forget about someone having to go in person. Right? The other one is, of course, intoxication. So typically, things like you have the bars and pubs and all that. Bangalore is infested with that. Then illicit sex, of course, places of prostitution, etc. Animal slaughter, and the fifth place is the place where gold is kept or gold is hoarded and misused. So why is it that gold is also added to the list, as if the four were not enough?
Because they say too much of gold, Prabhuji, like if you accumulate too much of gold, it leads to the prostitute. I mean,
Desire.
yeah, the
Prabhuji.
desires
To keep
will.
on accumulating.
Envy.
I mean, you get the feeling that you can do whatever you want. Like that, you take it.
Lust, Prabhuji,
I have read
lust.
it somewhere.
You're right, Mataji. So
Lust will be increased, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Lust will
lust will be more.
correct. So
And to buy that gold, we can go in for gambling. To buy that gold, we can go in for any other bad qualities. This desire will prompt all these things, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
very, very nice answers. All of them are right. So gold gives us a sense of false prestige, right? We think we are sitting on top of a huge treasury, and we think, okay, since I have so much of money, I can take some liberties, right? And then sinful activity, it kind of promotes sinful activities, right? The second is dishonesty and cheating, which you mentioned, that to accumulate that corpus, I'll go all out, taking any mean possible to make sure that I keep my gold reserves. And then it also leads to corruption and exploitation. So yes, so basically all what you said is right. And at the end of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that even though all nefarious activities of the personality of Kali are present, there is great advantage. Now let's look at the benefits of Kali. One can simply chant and basically attain salvation. So one when we look at our earlier yugas like Satya Yuga, right? In Satya Yuga, we used to perform what to get salvation?
Meditation.
Tapa.
Tapa and dhyana.
Meditation.
Yeah, dhyana and meditation, correct. And Treta Yuga?
Yajnas.
Yagya, sacrifice.
Meditation, deity worship.
Deity worship will also come, but in Treta Yuga, you're right, Mataji. Yajna. So we have to perform sacrifices, right, to get that. Then in Dwapar Yuga,
Elaborated temple worship, Prabhuji.
yes,
Deity worship.
deity worship.
Deity worship.
Yes, deity worship, Archana, right? Dhyana, Yagya, Archana, and in Kali Yuga, just chanting the holy names of the Lord.
Thank you.
Because all other forms are very difficult to practice and the purity is not there left, right? So that's the big advantage of Kali Yuga, that just sitting at home, sitting wherever you are, you don't have to worry about collecting samagri for yagya or basically collecting all ghee, nice pure ghee, milk, curd to perform abhishekam or to do deity worship. All that is not needed because Lord is also benevolent. He knows that Kali Yuga is full of misery, right? In from all perspectives. So this is an escape route that has been given. Right? So it is for this advantage only that great sages sometimes wish all good for the age of Kali. So that means even a little thing done in the age of Kali gives immense benefits, immense results, because it's like a age, a yuga which is full of misery, full of darkness. People around us are also not helpful, and our consciousness also slips here and there, right? We tend to have a whimsical change of minds. We may put down somebody. So there is so much of so many things that can go wrong in the age of Kali. So therefore, there are benefits as well. Because keeping ourselves in a positive frame of mind itself is a miracle in Kali. Like for most parts, people have been, the default nature is to slide down. It takes a lot of effort to even stay where you are or go up the ladder. So if any such activity happens which is against the tide, is rewarded handsomely in Kali Yuga. In the Vedas, it's also said that by discourse of on Lord Krishna's activities, one can get rid of all the disadvantages of Kali. So this is one very, very important takeaway, that we have to immerse ourselves in Krishna Katha as much as so. Reading Bhagavatam, which is uh, Lord personified in the as a literature, and discussing from person Bhagavata is something we should aspire to do all the time, right? And not hear from sources which are not verifiable. Yeah, in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also said by recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord becomes at once arrested within one's heart. What's the evidence for this? Anybody knows?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please repeat the question, Prabhuji.
So Lord becomes arrested in one's heart when one recites Srimad Bhagavatam.
Lord Hanuman Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, like whenever Lord is glorified,
Hmm.
They say the Lord is present physically there. I mean,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. One proof is ISKCON congregation, Prabhuji.
Yes.
From
Okay.
one person to millions, Prabhuji. ISKCON is present in many countries now, Prabhuji. So, and it is growing, ever growing. So that itself is the proof that Krishna has been arrested in devotees' heart day by day.
Very nice, very practical, Girdhar Prabhu. Very nice. So, yes, congregation, we know. I was also trying to look for direct evidence, as in from Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm not sure if it'll come up in the later parts of Srimad Bhagavatam, but there's a very nice verse in 1.2.21. It says, Vidyate hridaya grantis chityante sarvasim samshayah Shiyante chasya karmani drishte evat manisware. So thus the knot in the heart is pierced. All misgivings are cut to pieces, and the chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the Supreme Lord as the soul of all souls. Basically, this is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, and essentially, all doubts, everything is cut to pieces, because when Lord is arrested in one's heart, what typically happens is, see, Lord that way is very, he needs a lot of space. Let's assume that our house is a 3 BHK, our heart is like a 3 BHK. It's not that Lord likes to just take one small bedroom in that house. He wants to take the whole house. Now, what happens as a result is, when he takes over the heart, he kicks out all the anarthas, right? Lust, greed, anger, etc. All the anarthas get kicked out. So he takes the whole space for himself, right? So just by recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, we are inviting Lord into our hearts. When we invite him to our hearts, the first thing he does is he removes all the confusion that is around us. Okay, who's Krishna? Who are we? How are we related? He'll make sure that all those questions get addressed, and he nicely will make an entry into our house, our heart. Essentially, what I mean by that. And once he is taken, he's one of those tenants who will occupy the house, right? And he will ensure that any other anarthas are kicked out. All the bad characters who are staying in the house, they get kicked out first, right? And then he takes over the house and ensures that we essentially progress in our uh, path of bhakti, and we eventually reach him. So that's what it is. These are some of the great advantages of the age of Kali, and Maharaj Parishit took all the advantages and did not think any ill of the age of Kali, true to his Vaishnavite cult. Now, what does the last sentence mean? true to his Vaishnavite cult. He did not think any ill of the age of Kali, true to his Vaishnavite cult. What do we understand by this sentence?
Advantages of the age of Kali, Prabhuji. That recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam. So they are mentioning that, and Maharaj Parikshit took all the advantage, did not think of any ill of the age of Kali. True to his Vaishnavite cult.
Correct. So,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
yes.
Actually, according to Vaishnava culture, we have to surrender ourselves to a knowledged person who is coming in the parampara. Now, Parikshit Maharaj is getting surrendered to Sukadev Goswami to get the knowledge. So, this is also a Vaishnava culture. I feel like that, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. All the answers are right. So here, basically, all Vaishnavites are Saragrahi. Basically, they take the essence and leave the nonsense, right? So here, Parshit Maharaj saw the goodness of Kali. He ignored the negatives that come along with Kali. So he took the goodness, and that's what Vaishnavas do. What they do is, even in their day-to-day interaction, right, when they see a lot of people who are materialists also, they just take the good qualities of such people. And therefore, they do not harbor any envy or any hatred against anybody, because they're always looking at the good side of any individual. If we try to practice this aspect of the Vaishnavite cult, imagine so many, so many quarrels that happen domestically or outside also. None of it will take form or shape, because because the outlook itself is very different. The outlook is to see the better side of anybody. Right? When we do that, we automatically become dear to anybody and everybody, right? So that's something we can take away. किं नु बालेषु सूरेण कलीनादीरबीरुना अप्रमत्तः प्रमत्तेषु यो वृको नृषु वर्तते.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, Mataji, sorry.
Yes, Mataji, you can recite. Hare Krishna, Mataji. I just want to say, please raise hands. You can recite, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody is reciting?
Kimnu.
Yes, Mataji, okay.
Go ahead,
It's
Mataji.
okay.
Shall I recite, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please go ahead. Yes.
Or somebody was reciting, somebody wants to recite?
No, you recite, Mataji. It's okay. I will then recite next verse.
किम्नु बालेषु सूरेण कलीनादीरुना प्रमत्तः प्रमत्तेषु युव्रको नृषु वर्तते. Shall I continue translation also, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. If nobody else is there.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maharaja Parikshit considered that less intelligent men might find the personality of Kali to be very powerful, but those who are self-controlled would have nothing to fear. The king was powerful like a tiger and took care for the foolish, careless persons. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranams, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Prabhuji. May I read the purport, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. Please go ahead.
Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Those who are not devotees of the Lord are careless and unintelligent. Unless one is thoroughly intelligent, one cannot be a devotee of the Lord. Those who are not devotees of the Lord fall prey to the actions of Kali. It will not be possible to bring about a saner condition in society unless we are prepared to accept the modes of action adopted by Maharaja Parikshit. That is propagation of devotional service of the Lord to the common man. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams.
Thank you so much, Mataji. There's some nice takeaways here. So the king was powerful like a tiger and took care for the foolish, careless persons. So the king is not just attending to the intelligent ones, but not also to the less intelligent ones. So that's how a king takes full care of the praja. So it will not be possible to bring about a saner condition in society unless we are prepared to accept the modes of action adopted by Parikshit Maharaj, that is propagation of the devotional service of the Lord to the common man. Now, this is actually one of the main themes of ISKCON as a society, right? Propagation of the devotional service towards the Lord to everybody, everyone included, right? Irrespective of caste, irrespective of creed, gender, nationality, etc. Nothing is seen. It's a global, it's an international society, right? Where everyone is treated alike, everyone is dear to the Lord, and everyone deserves a fair chance to basically be set on a path which will evoke the love of Godhead, right? So ISKCON, it's at its key tenets, is trying to, this is like one theme which is like the garland on one's neck, right? How everyone is included. And if we kind of look at this theme and we compare it with things that we might have seen in our upbringing, we would have seen, at least in the past, how people were so judgmental. People will say, if somebody has to do deity worship, he better be part of the Brahmin community. He should have been, he should be at least Trivedi, Chaturvedi, like that. There are qualifications that he used to be. But in ISKCON, if one is a Vaishnava, as much in terms of chanting the holy names of the Lord and following the four regulative principles, and he's progressing well, the theme here is that everyone, irrespective of their varnashrama dharma, is actually trying to become a Brahmin, right? All the Brahminical qualities are infused in him, and therefore he becomes immediately eligible for the love of God. What I'm trying to say here is not that one has to become Brahmin to do that, but what happens is, as a result of all these practices of four regulative principles, attending lectures of Shastra, hearing Shastra, reading Shastra, one automatically becomes Brahmin as a side effect. The main effect is he becomes a Vaishnava first, right? And as a result, all the qualifications to do deity worship, to basically, take care of basically, all the nine limbs of devotion, which is hearing, kirtan, Vishnu Smaran, everything, all that comes together. Yes. So we'll go to the next one. Upavarnitam itadvah punyam parikshitam maya vasudeva katopetam akyanam yat aprachata.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Padma Mataji and Krishnamurti Prabhuji are raising their hands. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
yes, Prabhuji, go ahead.
I'll read. Shall I tell the sloka?
Yes, Mataji, you can read the sloka and translation. Krishnamurti Prabhuji will be reading the purport.
Yeah, okay. Upavarnitam punyam parikshitam maya vasudeva katopetam akshanam yad aprachata. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody wants to read the translation?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Yes, Krishnamurti Prabhu, please go ahead.
Translation and purport by C.S.E. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada Ki Jai. O sages, as you did ask me, now I have described almost everything regarding the narrations about Lord Krishna in connection with the history of the pious Maharaja Parikshit. Purport. Srimad Bhagavatam is the history of the activities of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam is the history of the activities of the Lord. And the activities of the Lord are performed in relation with the devotees of the Lord. Therefore, the history of the devotees is not different from the history of the Lord Krishna's activities. A devotee of the Lord regards both the activities of the Lord and those of his pure devotees on an equal level, for they are all transcendental. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Thank you, Krishnamurti Prabhu. Such a beautiful purport. In 4 sentences, Prabhupada has covered such a beautiful transcendental exchanges between Lord and his devotees, right? See, what Prabhupada is saying here is that activities of the Lord are inclusive of the activities of devotees, because Lord's leelas are always with his devotees. So what we see as demons also are actually devotees who are playing a part, right? When we see Hiranyakashipu, they were all Jaya Vijay, right? At some point, they just uh, basically based on Lord's arrangement, they played this role of demons. So all of them are devotees at the end of the day. And when we go through Bhagavatam, we find the story of Prahlad Maharaj. We read about Dhruva Maharaj. We read about four Kumaras, Chatush Kumaras. Then we hear about we all other pastimes. We hear about um, 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 Chitraketu Maharaj, right? And many such other devotees. And if we actually analyze this, these devotees have basically a lot of popularity. See, Lord that way makes his devotees shine, right? Today, when we want to think about, okay, I'm struggling in bhakti, and we turn towards the Lord shows us, look at uh, look at Prahlad Maharaj, right? He was pushed from a mountain top. He was actually, people wanted to set him on fire, yet he was able to remember me. So through his devotee, Lord shows his characteristics, basically how he's so approachable and how he has helped so many devotees. And those devotees are so popular that just by remembering those devotees, we are able to think about Lord, right? Because he has helped those devotees, which we can very clearly see. So, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj often says that our life is not as bad as Prahlad Maharaj in terms of the severity of what was being done on him. Like, for example, in one case, he was pushed from a mountain. He was the instructions were given for elephants to trample upon him. In one case, he was put on fire. Nobody is doing this to us, right? For us, most of this is not even an issue. Yet we find it so difficult to remember the Lord. So where the fact that when we look at, and Lord often teaches through extreme examples, and these devotees have exemplified how under even trying and testing circumstances one is able to hear and have that unflinching faith on the Lord and his holy names. Like when we look at Draupadi's example, the Kuru Sabha, where she was actually getting defamed, and all the Kauravas were trying to, Duryodhana and Dushasana were trying to disrobe her. Uh, till a particular point in time, she was trying to hold on her own. She was trying to protect her modesty from getting insulted. But at some point, she found her strength was not good enough, and she completely surrendered to the Lord, right? And at that point in time, Lord's unlimited mercy coming through the garment extension flew through, and that protected Draupadi, right? And it protected Pandavas in many such ways. So essentially, when we look at trying and testing circumstances, when anybody is getting, a lady or a man, anybody, they immediately think about Draupadi. Okay, Lord, when Draupadi was having such an embarrassing situation, how Lord protected her, right? So the devotees, through the medium of devotees, were able to get the glories of Lord, right? When we hear these pastimes, when we read these pastimes time and again, it actually inspires us and it builds the faith that we always wish to have, right? So this is a very beautiful purport which where Prabhupada has talked about Lord and his devotees in terms of pastimes, in terms of glories, in terms of activities, how each of them complete each other, right? It's one is not exclusive of the other. So it's very beautifully laid out in four sentences. यया कथा भगवतः कथानीयुरो कर्मणः गुणकर्माश्रया पुंभी संसेवयास्ता बुभुक्षुभिः. Yes, anybody wants to
May I recite, Prabhuji?
Yes, Dhanashri Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Dandvat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Dhanvat
या
Mata.
यथा कथा भगवतः कथनीयोरुकर्मणः गुणकर्माश्रयः पुंभिः संसेव्यास्ता भूषुभिः. Hare Krishna. Translation.
Yes.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ji ki jai. Those who are desirous of achieving complete perfection in life must submissively hear all topics that are connected with the transcendental activities and qualities of the personality of Godhead who acts wonderfully. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody wants to read the purport?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Giridhar Prabhu, please go ahead.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The systematic hearing of the transcendental activities, qualities, and names of Lord Sri Krishna pushes one towards eternal life. Systematic hearing means knowing Him gradually in truth and fact. And this knowing Him in truth and fact means attaining eternal life. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, such transcendental glorified activities of Lord Sri Krishna are the prescribed remedy for counteracting the process of birth, death, old age, and disease, which are considered to be material awards for the conditioned living being. The culmination of such a perfectional stage of life is the goal of human life and the attainment of transcendental bliss. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Giridhar Prabhu. So, the systematic hearing of the names, qualities of Lord pushes one towards eternal life. Now, when we look at the effects of Kali, it's very scary, right? We see that how there's a constant degradation of society. If we start to compare how things were 50 years back, 60 years back, and when we hear from our own elders in the family, they are able to do a reality check on the fact that how society is degrading with every year passing by. And that degradation is seen in all classes, everywhere. It's all over, right? Now, what's the remedy? Just systematic hearing of the Katha of Lord. Such transcendental glorified activities of Lord Krishna are the prescribed remedy for counteracting the process of birth, death, old age, and disease, which are considered to be material towards for the conditioned living being. Right? So basically, how are we counteracting this by this remedy? Anybody has an answer? How this is getting contained? These are the four eternal problems which we have seen for lifetimes. How is that getting counteracted by glorification of Lord and His names and His pastimes? Anybody has an answer?
We'll try to be on the path of Dharma, Prabhuji, by listening to Krishna and his pastimes. And by being on the right path, we'll always do the right things at the right time.
That's true. Yes, so we are going to be in the act of Dharma, but how is it protecting us from this birth, death, old age, and disease? How is that happening? We may be born again, right? For all you know.
Oh, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Of course, we will get birth. There is no second chance. The thing is, we can able to know the depth of what will affect our life. We are least bothered about all those things. Death will come, comes. Old age will come, comes. We will suffer, and then definitely we have the idea, and then we have the confirmation that definitely we will be in the clutches of we will never be in the clutches of Maya. We are always in the hands of puppet in the hands of Supreme Lord. That will confirm by hearing Bhagavatam.
Beautiful answer, bro. Very nice answer. So you're saying these things may come again and again, but they don't bother us, right? Birth doesn't bother us, death doesn't bother us. We are constantly absorbed in the holy names of the Lord, constantly absorbed in His pastimes. So it's like akin to even during our life, we do get a lot of diseases. We get cold, fever. One way to think about it is, yes, I'm not well. I will take full rest. Okay, that's fair to do. But the other way to also see it is that, okay, I'm absorbed. Like, how many of us observed this Ekadasi, right? This
Nirjala.
Nirjala,
Nirjala Pandava.
Pandava
Yes,
Nirjala Ekadasi. How many of you?
I did, Prabhuji. I did.
I myself done Maharaj.
Okay. Yes.
I also did, Prabhuji.
Wonderful.
I
I'm
did
so happy.
also, Prabhuji. I did 32 rounds also chanting.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm very inspired by this group, right? When I hear that all of us observed it and we also chanted that, just to give a small, we had a program at our house. I'm trying to connect back to exactly this point. Now, obviously, Pandava Nirjala Ekadasi, we don't always do water. I mean, it's not that we drink water in most parts, even in Ekadasi. So in this Ekadasi, no food, no water, nothing, right? So there was a program where we came together as a congregation. We chanted 64 rounds. And this took us how many hours? Close to 8 hours, from morning 6 to about afternoon 2 o'clock. At that point, everybody's so absorbed that the pangs of hunger, the pangs of thirst was not felt because we were in such a beautiful association, charging up each other. So whatever thirst that somebody's suffering, lack of water or anything, he's inspiring by his actions to the other person. The other person is feeling inspired. He's emitting that energy to somebody else. And by this association, the pangs of thirst and hunger were not felt, right? So, therefore, similar, I'm just trying to extrapolate this particular sentence that when we are in such an intense absorption, and I'm reflecting on what our Prabhuji just mentioned, that when we are so much absorbed in the holy names of the Lord, right? We are not remembering all the other bodily problems that we are going through, right? So that reflects how Lord's name, even in this world, forget about going to Goloka Vrindavan or higher destination, or Goloka Vrindavan is the highest destination, sorry. But what I'm trying to say, even if we are not gone to that particular to that level or Lord's abode, even in this abode, we are able to not feel any of this, right? I've seen many people who are very old, and there is a katha, and they make a decision. Yes, I am having a knee pain. Yes, I need a walking stick. But they make that decision to overcome that and actually pick their walking stick, actually lift themselves up and take the walk to where Krishna Katha is being discussed. And when they are sitting there, they're definitely not thinking about their leg. They're definitely not thinking about the joint pain. They're completely absorbed in Krishna Katha. And Prabhuji can get that very remarkable point that sitting in this yuga, sitting in this world, we are able to not feel the pangs of any of it, right? Yes. So the culmination of such a perfectional stage of life is the goal of human life and attainment of transcendental bliss. Now, again, I reflect on His Holiness Jayapadaka Swami Maharaj. So much of bodily pain is in, right? We see him, he's been operated upon, he's gone through kidney transplant, liver transplant. Uh, I've also recently heard that he's also suffering from skin cancer. So many bodily circumstances. But Maharaj is so charged up. He comes to a class, he ignites the classroom, right, with his preaching, with his discourse, with his energy, which never seems to die down, right? So you feel the reverberations from such devotees, and then you thank the Lord based on that. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Actually, for us, they told Srila Prabhupada is very compassionate. He
Hmm.
told people who are taking medication, all that, they
Hmm.
need not do.
Hmm.
But still, so many of us in the temple, we were having only milk and fruits like that. And
Hmm.
they gave us some little, we had Shravan Utsav in the temple, Prabhuji, 2 days. So
Hmm.
they gave us some little Egadeshi Prasadam that
Hmm.
we had, and it was nice.
Hmm.
We did more of, hearing lecture actually.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Amog Leela Prabhu had come, and Bhakti Prachar Swami Maharaj had come.
Oh, where is this
You
Mataji?
see,
Which?
it's on Chennai temple, Saturday and Sunday, 2 days.
Oh, okay. Amog Leela Prabhu is you know, he
Amogan Prabhu, not Amog Leela Prabhu.
okay.
Amogan Prabhu from
Amogan.
Kolkata,
Okay, okay.
Calcutta.
Got it. Okay, okay.
Hare
Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing
Thank
that.
you. Hare
ऋषय ऊचुः सूतजीव समा सौम्य Shashvatir Vishadam Yashah Yastvam Samshasi Krishnasya Martyanam Amritam Hinaha. Yes. Mamita Mataji. Yes, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Pranams.
Go ahead, Mataji. Yes.
Rasya Uchaha Suta Jiva Samashamya Sasvetir Visadam Yashaha Yastvam Samsasi Krishnasya Martyanam Amritam Hinaha.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. Anybody wants to read the translation?
Can I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Archana Mataji. Please go ahead.
Sorry.
Hare
It's
Krishna.
Padma.
Padma
It's
Mataji.
Padma.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The good sages said, O grave Sutta Goswami, may you live many years and have eternal fame, for you are speaking very nicely about the activities of Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. This is just like nectar for mortal beings like us. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Yes, anybody wants to read the purport?
Hare Krishna. Pranams.
Yes, Archana.
Purport.
Yes.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When we hear about the transcendental qualities and activities of the personality of Godhead, we may always remember what has been spoken by the Lord Himself in the Bhagavad Gita. 4.9. His acts, even when He acts in human society, are all transcendental, for they are all accentuated by the spiritual energy of the Lord, which is distinguished from his material energy. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, such acts are called divyam. This means that he does not act or take his birth like an ordinary living being under the custody of material energy, nor is his body material or changeable like that of ordinary living beings. And one who understands this fact, either from the Lord or from the authorized sources, is not reborn after leaving the present material body. Such an enlightened soul is admitted into the spiritual realm of the Lord and engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Therefore, the more we hear about the transcendental activities of the Lord, as they are stated in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the more we can know about his transcendental nature and thus make definite progress on the path back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. So, Lord's activities, his energy, all that is called divyam, right? Such acts, they are called divyam. His acts, even when he acts in human society, are all transcendental. Now, this is, when Mayavadis think that when Lord comes to this world, he becomes a human, right? And his form is, he completely is a human being. So, this is far removed from the proper understanding where Lord's body, irrespective, even when he seemingly looks like he has taken a human form, his body, his pastimes, his activities, always is transcendental. Now, what is transcendental here? What is Lord's body made of? Anybody can?
Satchidananda Vigraha, Prabhuji.
Yes. It's never this Panchadhatu.
Never, yeah.
Correct. So it is always Satchidananda Vigraha.
Vigraha.
Yeah. So that always holds. And one who understands this fact, either from the Lord or from authorized sources, is not reborn after leaving the present material body. So one who's aware of Lord's pastimes is the reasons why he comes in this world, etc. He, upon leaving the material body, is not reborn. What's the evidence for this? Anybody?
He is not reborn.
Yeah, so it's coming from
After
Bhagavad
leaving
Gita. So
present body.
yeah, so one shloka is that whoever at the end of his life quits his body,
Yeah,
remember
Anta Kale Chamameva, Prabhuji.
Kalichum Mameva.
Mameva Smaran Mukva Kalevaram.
ya prayati samadbhavam yati nasti atra samshayah. So essentially, this is one. And then there is one more shloka. Anybody remembers? Something to do with...
Janma karma cha me divyam.
Yes. Yes.
Evam
Correct.
yo
That's
veti
4.9.
panditah tatvat evam punarjanma naiti mameti. So
19
Arjun.
Mameti. So
So,
Arjuna. Yes. Anybody who remembers my activities, my pastimes, upon leaving his body, doesn't take birth again. Right? So, yes. So these are the completely coming from Bhagavad Gita's verses. Okay. We'll go to the next one. Karmani asmin anasvase धूम्रात्मनां भवान् अप्ययति गोविंद पादपाद्मासवं madhu. Yes, anybody wants to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Bhargav, please go.
Karmani asmin anashvase dhumratmanam bhavan apa apayayati govinda pada padmasavam madhu.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Anybody wants to read the purport, translation and purport?
Translation, can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ji ki jai. We have just begun the performance of this fruitive activity, a sacrificial fire, without certainty of its result, due to the many imperfections in our action. Our bodies have become black from the smoke, but we are factually pleased by the nectar of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, Govinda, which you are distributing. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandvat pranams.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, anybody wants to read the purport?
I'll read, Prabhuji.
Yes, yes, Padma Mataji, go ahead.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The sacrificial fire kindled by the sages of Naimisaranya was certainly full of smoke and doubts because of so many flaws. The first flaw is that there is an acute scarcity of expert brahmanas able to carry out such performances successfully in this age of Kali. Any discrepancy in such sacrifices spoils the whole show, and the result is uncertain, like agricultural enterprises. The good result of tilling the paddy field depends on providential rain, and therefore the result is uncertain. Similarly, performance of any kind of sacrifice in this age of Kali is also uncertain. Unscrupulous, greedy brahmanas of this age of Kali induce the innocent public to such uncertain sacrificial shows without disclosing the scriptural injunction that in the age of Kali there is no fruitful sacrificial performance, but the sacrifice of the congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Sutta Goswami was narrating the transcendental activities of the Lord before the congregation of sages, and they were factually perceiving the result of hearing these transcendental activities. One can feel this practically as one can feel the result of eating food. Spiritual realization acts in that way. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody wants to read the last paragraph?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, may I read Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
The sages of Naimisharanya were practically suffered from the smoke of a sacrificial fire and were doubtful about the result. But hearing from by a realized person like Sutta Goswami, they were fully satisfied. In the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Vishnu tells Shiva that in the age of Kali, men full of anxieties of various kinds can vainly labor in fruitive activity by philosophical speculations. But when they are engaged in devotional service, the result is sure and certain, and there is no loss of energy. In other words, nothing performed for spiritual realization or for material benefit can be successful without the devotional service to the Lord. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. So, few things have been very nicely captured by Srila Prabhupada. So, the sages, right, they are covered with the suit, black suit, not the suit as in the suit, but the suit, SOOT, right? Which one gets by
Smoke.
the smoke.
Smoke, no Prabhuji.
Yeah, smoke will give that suit, right, which is covering the body. So they're saying that, our bodies have become black. We have done so much of yagyas, we've offered ahutis, everything. But, they're clearly saying out that we are actually pleased by the nectar that you're distributing, but we are not quite sure, about the results of what we are doing as fruitive activity. See, what we are offering through the sacrificial fire, and we have taken the pain, and our bodies have become black, right? But we are not sure of the outcomes there. However, what we are hearing, the Shravanam that we are doing about what you're distributing, what the names of the Lord, forms, pastimes of the Lord, that we know will give the result. Right? So very clearly, and then Prabhupada gives more detailed explanation on why sacrificial uh, aspects will not yield the results, because the Brahmanas are not pure. Some of them are very greedy. There is a lot of aspects of the will of the providence, right? Just like how agricultural practices survive, right? Even if you tilled the soil, you sown the seeds, unless there's a rain that comes, unless you have a good monsoon, you can't be sure that you'll get a bountiful produce. So similarly, performance of any kind of sacrifice in the age of Kali is also uncertain. So unscrupulous brahmanas, etc., and then providence, things that are not pure, not Agni, ghee, etc., etc. Uh, and in the age of Kali, induce innocent public to such uncertain sacrificial shows without disclosing the spiritual injunction that in the age of Kali there is no fruitful sacrificial performance, but the sacrifice of congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So again, this is the trademark of Kali Yuga, that only the thing that really matters is chanting the holy names of the Lord. Right. Right. So here, further on, the sages were practically sufferers from the smoke of the sacrificial fire and were doubtful about the result, but by hearing from a realized person like Sutta Goswami, they were fully satisfied. Right? So here again, Vishnu tells Shiva that in the age of Kali, men full of anxieties of various kinds can really labor in philosophical service, but when they are engaged in devotional service, the result is sure and certain, and there is no loss of energy. Here, Prabhupada makes a very interesting point towards the end. Anybody can spot what is so distinct about the last line? Anybody?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes. Did you spot this?
Without the grace of Supreme Lord, nothing will happen.
Correct. Yes.
Whether it's material, Prabhuji, whether it's material or spiritual, nothing can be without devotional service.
Yes. Very nice. I think all of you got it. So, while for nothing performed for spiritual realization is understood, or for material benefit, can be successful without the devotional service to the Lord. That means, even if one has to make material gains, without the sanction of the Lord, it can't happen. Right? So, we are not the doers, and we have no ownership on the results. So, yes, very true. Yes, so we conclude today's verses going up to 12. Any questions before we...
Prabhuji, but there's always mention of Prabhuji. Lord always gives us the free will. But at the same time, it's also mentioned sanction of the Lord is very important and quite contrary.
Yeah, come again, Mataji, Sindhu Mataji, or you're saying
No,
that...
I'm saying like whatever the living entity, the Jiva desires, there is a step, no, Prabhuji, we read in Bhagavad Gita, the Prakriti sanctions, Jiva desires.
Correct.
And then the Supreme Lord sanctions. That is a process. But generally, we have seen that it is only the living entity, free will only, the Lord makes it happen. Because He always wants devotees to be happy. So whatever the devotees want, the Lord sanctions.
Correct.
So
So,
But Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, but Prabhuji, our free will is limited, no?
yeah,
Very limited
that's
free
what I
will we
was.
have.
so
Yes.
Some class we discussed it.
yes,
It's
yes.
like when we tie an animal, a cow or something, to a pole, and then tie him with a rope, then he can only walk. He can only go around that distance as long as the rope is long. You
Correct.
can't go beyond that. So
Correct. And Mataji, if you examine our free will is restricted to what we desire, right? So Lord doesn't dictate what you want, what you're desiring. He never comes in your way, right? Now, having that desire, fruition of that desire is completely the act of providence. So the free will comes in terms of not dictating what you desire, right? So Lord gives that authority because desires, he never controls anybody's desire. In fact, what we do initially, we have desires which are very material in nature. Later our desires become, see,
Yeah,
this other thing is that desires cannot be uprooted. It's not possible that you can have
yeah,
any jivatma will always have desires. The only thing we shift is the consciousness. What we do is, instead of doing bhoga of the desires and the results coming from the desires, we dovetail our desires in the service of the Lord. The same big house, the same big car, the same altar. Now, I mean, altar is of course spiritual. Even the material goods that we have, a house or a car, a big vehicle, or anything else, any opulence and affluence that comes our way, we just dovetail it in such a way that it becomes spiritualized. We hold kirtans, we hold bhajans, we hold bhakti rickshaws, we hold discussions, we hold chanting sessions, etc., etc., to essentially use that house in service of the Lord. Right? However, that desire to have a bigger house or the desire to have doesn't go away. It's just that we have dovetailed it in a way that we are able to serve the Lord using it. Right?
so basically, yeah. Basically, it is like akarma, no, Prabhuji. Akarma. Normally, if you want to buy a house, we buy, then becomes a karma. There is again that bondage, repeated cycle is there. But
Correct.
in this case, when we spiritualize it, when we dovetail it, as you said, to the Lord, then it becomes what to say?
Spiritual. I mean, you
Yeah,
spiritualize your
desire.
desires. Yeah, yeah.
and
Thank you,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
even when we have a house, we should not think it's our house. We must think
Correct.
we are the
Correct.
caretakers. No?
Correct.
It belongs to
Correct.
Krishna.
Yes, yes,
Our
absolutely.
consciousness has to change.
Correct. It's basically, if we look at it, Prabhupada has actually the root cause we see, right? Prabhupada has actually addressed that. Mataji, the last word you said is consciousness. And that's where we have this ISKCON society, right? International Society for Krishna Consciousness, right? That underline on the consciousness word. Because everything remains the same. It's just a change, subtle change in our consciousness. And Prabhupada often takes this example of a soldier who's basically fighting enemies in a war, and on the other hand, he comes on a vacation and he goes and kills civilians. See, the act is still the same. Killing is sanctioned in one case, it's not sanctioned in the other case, because the consciousness is very different. There he's looking to kill enemies of that land, of his motherland. In the other case, he is actually used or misused his powers to essentially affect a very different outcome. So, very true that consciousness, if someone lifts the knife, right, it could be to stab someone, it could be to basically perform surgery and then do the sutures, right? So, the activity of cutting the skin is still the same, but the consciousness is a whole lot different, right? So, yes. So Prabhupada actually, if we introspect, he's dealt at the root cause of the problem, which is consciousness. Once we spiritualize our consciousness, once we change that bit, everything around us changes so much. It takes a 360-degree turn. Right? Yes. Yes, Nancy. Anything else before we end the call today? Okay. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Dandavat
Pranam.
pranams.
Dandavat Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Vanta
We have
vancha
the
kalpa
shloka
recited
recited now.
Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Jesus,
Hare Krishna.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Dandavat Mataji. Thank you.
Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Actually, we
Hare
have a
Krishna.
shloka recitation here by the devotees. So those who are interested can start reciting the shlokas. Hare Krishna. Sorry,
Prabhuji left, I think. Prabhuji is there? No.
No, Prabhuji left. I think few Mataji, I think somebody also left. Okay, it's
Yeah,
okay.
Mataji, we can recite.
Now let's recite the shlokas of Priti Maharani, Kunta Maharani's prayer. Hare Krishna. Those who are
The
interested,
voice is too
please.
low. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me right now, Mataji?
Yeah. Now it's audible. Yeah.
Yes, Mata. So from text 18, we start until text 30, we are going to read. Those who are willing to read, please raise your hands and you can read 2 shlokas each. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Shall I start, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kunti Uvacha. Namaste Purisham Tvadyam. Ishwaram Prakrute Param. Alaksham Sarvabhutanam. Antarbhairavasthitam. Maya Javanika Agnado Akshadam Avyayam. Alakshase Mudadrusha. Nato Natyadaro Yataha. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Pranams, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna. Who is next?
Shall I read Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
परमहंसानां मुनीनां मलात्मनां भक्तियोगविधानार्थं कथं पश्येमहि हि श्रियः कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. हरे कृष्ण माताजी. प्रणाम माताजी.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna. Who is next?
Can I, Mataji? Archana Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Namah Pankajanaಭಾಯ Namah Pankajamaline Namah Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangraye Yata Hrishikeshakalena Devaki Kamsena Ruddhatichiram Sucharpita Vimochitaham Cha Sahatmaja Vibho Tvayaiva Nathena Muhurvipat Ganat. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Mataji. Dandavat pranams. Yes, who is next?
I'll read Mataji 24-25.
Yes, Mataji.
विशान महाग्ने पुरुषाद दर्शनात् असर्च भाया वनवास कृच्छ्रतः मृदे नेकमहारताश्रटो द्रौण्यश्रतश्चाश्म हरे विरक्षिताः विपदशन्त्वताशश्व तत्र जगद्गुरो भवतो दर्शनं यत् स्यादपुनर्भव दर्शनम्.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat pranams.
Pranams.
Who is next? Hare Krishna. Dhanashri Mataji, Kusumlata Mataji, anybody there?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Namo Kinshana Vittaya.
Mataji, Janmeshwari also. Janmeshwari Shrutashri.
Janmaishwarya Sudashri Bir Medhamana Madapuman Naivarhadi Abhidhadum Vai Vam Akinchana Gocharam Namo Akinchana Vittaya Nivritta Gunavrittaye Atma Ramaya Shantaya Kaivalya Padaye Namah. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, who is next?
May I, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat pranam Mataji.
Dandavat pranams.
मन्ये त्वां कालमिशानमनादिनिधनं विभुं समं चरतं सर्वत्र भूतानां यन्मितः कलिः. Text 29. न वेद कश्चित् भगवञ्चिकीर्षितं तवेहमानस्य नृणां विडम्बनं न यस्य कश्चिदैत्यतोऽस्ति कर्हिचिद द्वेष्यस्य यस्मिन् विषमा मति नृणां. थैंक यू माताजी. हरे कृष्ण. सॉरी.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Giridhar Gopal Prabhuji, would you like to read 30?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Janma karma cha vishvatman ajasyat kartur atmanah tiryan rishushu yadashu tad atyanta vidambanam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, everybody, for patient listening. So let's end the meeting. So we all will do the conclusion prayer. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Pranams. Hare Bol.
Pranams, Mataji. Vancha kalpatarutyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। जय गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Archana
Hare
Mataji or
Krishna
Sindhu
Mataji,
Mataji.
that is Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Bhargavi Mataji, would you like to say something?
Yeah. Could you please record at your convenience Sindhu Mataji or you all the Kunti Mataji prayers so that we can recite them perfectly?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Mataji, I also would prefer, I also wanted to ask you this favor, Mataji, if you can please.
Okay, Mataji. Or I will also send one YouTube recording which has been done. It is available in YouTube. I will share that link with you all, Mataji, in the group, main group. Actually, I learned from that only. So I will share that one.
Okay.
Sure,
Okay.
Mataji.
So
that
Mataji,
helps.
are we having the same slokas tomorrow also?
Yeah. Same set of shlokas starting from 18 to 30 for this entire month of June, Mataji.
Some slokas, the Karpanya dosho, that meter will come, Mataji.
Yeah,
Anyway, we can also see. Yeah.
Along
Hare
with them, we are supposed to read first 3 slokas also. First chapter,
Yeah,
first 3
daily
slokas.
we practice it.
First 3 also. From tomorrow we will do that. First 3 also from 1.1.1, 1.1.2, 1.1.3 also we are supposed to do. That we will
Sure,
do from.
Mataji.
Thank you for reminding.
Perfect, Mataji. Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Archana
Krishna.
Mataji. Sindhu
Hare
Mataji, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam.